Hey everyone! So, you're looking to start a real estate career in Virginia? That's awesome. You've definitely come to the right place. In this guide, we're going to walk through the state's licensing requirements, step by step, to give you all the info you need to launch a successful and, just as importantly, a compliant practice.
So what does it really take to build a solid career in Virginia real estate? I like to think of it like building a house. You can't just throw up the walls, right? You need a rock-solid foundation first. And that is exactly what we're covering today, the essential pillars, the rules and education that build trust and integrity in this business.
All right, let's start at the very beginning, with the law. Every single rule, every professional standard we have in Virginia real estate, it all comes from this legal framework. And this isn't just about memorizing facts for an exam. It's all designed to protect the public and make sure we all operate at a really high level of competence.
So where do all these rules come from? Well, there are two main sources. First, you've got the Code of Virginia. Think of this as the big picture law passed by the state legislature. Then you have the Virginia Administrative Code. This is where state agencies, like the Virginia Real Estate Board, or VREB, you'll hear that a lot, lay out the specific detailed regulations. The most important thing to remember is that both of these are legally binding and they're enforced by the VREB and DPOR.
Okay, now that we've got the legal basis down, the next logical question is, who actually needs a license? Let's dive into the activities that legally define you as a real estate professional here in Virginia.
This definition is broad for a very good reason. Basically, if you are acting for someone else and you're getting paid for it in a real estate deal, you need a license. It doesn't matter if you're an individual agent, a broker, or even a company. That's the key formula to remember. Acting for another person plus getting compensation equals you need a license.
Now, of course, there are a few exceptions, but I have to stress they are very specific and pretty narrow. We're talking about people dealing with their own property, or those acting in a specific legal role, like an attorney or a trustee. But notice the key phrases here, like without compensation or doing only non-negotiating tasks. For most of us looking to make a career out of this, these exemptions won't apply.
So what does it take to qualify? Well, beyond the basics, like being 18 and having a high school diploma, Virginia puts a huge emphasis on your character. The VREB is really looking for people with a solid reputation for being honest and fair. A clean record is pretty much non-negotiable, especially when it comes to felonies, anything involving dishonesty, or any fair housing violations.
Okay, now for the practical steps. This part is a big commitment, but it's totally doable. Getting licensed means dedicated education and, of course, passing that state exam. Let's break down the different paths for salespersons and brokers. This chart really shows the clear progression in a real estate career. To get started as a salesperson, you need to complete that 60-hour pre-license course. Pretty straightforward. But to become a broker, the requirements jump up a lot. You're looking at 180 hours of education and, this is crucial, you need 3 years of active experience in the last 4 years. So it's a big step up.
Earning that license is a huge milestone, for sure, but it is truly just the beginning. To stay active and effective, you've got to commit to ongoing education. It's how you stay current on laws, regulations, and all the industry best practices.
All right, everyone, this is a number you absolutely have to remember. 30. Within your very first year of being licensed, you have to complete 30 hours of post-license education, or PLE. If you miss this deadline, your license will automatically go inactive. You really don't want that to happen. So let's look at your educational path in 2 key stages. Step 1 is that intense 30-hour PLE in your first year. It covers 9 mandatory topics, everything from fair housing to contract writing. After you get that done, you move into Step 2. That's your regular continuing education, or CE, which you'll do every 2 years to keep your license active and your knowledge sharp.
And for salespersons, the key number to remember for renewals is 16. Every 2 years, you'll need to complete 16 hours of continuing education. This usually includes mandatory courses on things like ethics and legal updates, plus some electives. And just so you know, for brokers, that requirement goes up to 24 hours.
Okay, let's talk about the administrative side of things. Staying compliant means understanding the fees, the deadlines, and the day-to-day rules that the Virginia Real Estate Board sets out to govern your license. This gives you a really clear snapshot of the initial costs. You've got your application fee, the exam fee that goes to the testing company, and that one-time $20 fee for the transaction recovery fund. Now, that fund is actually pretty important. It's a consumer protection fund, which adds a layer of trust to our whole profession. It's a good idea to budget for all these as you get started. Please pay close attention to this timeline. If your license expires, you have a window to fix it. But after 1 year, that window closes for good. The license cannot be reinstated. You would literally have to start the entire process over from scratch. The 60-hour course, the state exam, everything. You don't want to be in that position.
Here are some of those day-to-day rules you're just going to live by. For one, your physical license, it actually belongs to the board, not you. Also, being on top of your admin is key. You've got 30 days to report an address change because the board doesn't forward mail. Keeping your broker and the board in the loop is just a fundamental part of being a professional.
So, what does this all look like in practice? This timeline gives you a really realistic roadmap. Depending on your own pace, you could go from starting your course to holding an active license in as little as 2 months, or it might be closer to 6. The key is just consistent progress through each of these steps: the course, the exam, the application, and finally, finding a great broker to affiliate with so you can start practicing.
Ultimately, mastering all these rules isn't just about passing a test. It's about building the foundation of your professional reputation. This knowledge is what gives you the confidence you project to your clients, and that confidence is what builds a lasting, successful career in Virginia real estate.